Buckets. That's the name of my boat. Buckets.
Buckets. What we get.
Not the only transfer we got from Florida. Keith Stone, too. Remember that.
Everybody who watches his show on a regular basis knows my love of the stretch four.
You know, we all make mistakes. He might have made one going to
It's
Tallahassee.
mercy if y'all don't know. Dribble to the left, cross over to the right. Hurricane to the game, many buckets for the night. Matt with the pick and roll, Melissa with the give and go. This Shelly-U, pretty girl dunking in the hole. Check the scoreboard, this what we ball for. Peep the gameplay, they want an encore. Yeah, overtime for another round. It's buckets after buckets, baby. You out of time. It's buckets. What it is, homie, it's buckets. Woo! We get buckets. Yeah, baby, buckets.
I have no shame.
I know. That's the problem.
You guys are awesome.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Buckets. We got a special one today. Got the March Madness preview. If you wondering who these two fine gentlemen are below me and Vish, two of my closest friends who are obsessed about college basketball, just like me. Vish can attest to the obsession. He saw me watching Montana versus Montana State.
I shouldn't have put it on. That was my
Legitimately.
fault. We were doing a live show and I had it on the corner and he's just like not paying attention. It was like 2-0. The game had just tipped and he was locked in.
It was a huge rivalry, man. It was everything.
Hey,
So we're
Big Sky.
shout out to the Big Sky. So we're gonna be going through the entire bracket, first round matchups. We'll go through our favorite games from each region. We'll go through our final four picks and then our pick to win it all. So that is right, Nate. It is not a hobby.
Before we get started, Canes, Cats, Heat. I think
good
we're doing a
evening.
baseball. I think we're doing a baseball show tomorrow, by the way. And then shout out to Nate, friend of the show.
There we go. So should we get into it? Start off in the East region.
Yes, with I think the toughest game to pick probably, but
All right. So we got UConn, number one seed UConn against 16 seed Stetson. How are we feeling about this? I think we should we go bottom to top, Tommy going up in that order?
whatever you want, man. You drive the bus.
Let's do it. I'll switch it up every time so Tommy won't
Yeah.
be going first. I don't want to put him in that position.
This one's pretty easy, but I'm going UConn.
Okay, there you go. You got the easy one to start.
I guess Canes, Cats, Heat is the 1% that picks Stetson according to the user picks. So
Hey, someone had to do it. You got to be that guy that gets the pick right. Awesome time for Stetson. First year ever in the tournament, I believe. The Hatters had an unreal talk about Matt watching random conference tournaments. As the conference tournaments went on, anything on ESPN Plus, I was glued to.
Who's their one dude that's a baller?
So as I was sitting here, I was like, I should have written down his name. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Hit a big shot to win the conference tournament at the end of the game. They'd been up for a while. Other team came back, and then I think he's lefty.
Yes.
Little hesitation three from the top of the key to win it. But yeah, UConn's really good, and I feel like most teams are going to have a hard time. So I think Stetson enjoy the beginning of the dance, but I think it might be the end of their days.
Yeah, no, I'm going UConn here too. It's crazy to think with all the turnover from last year's team, that they're still this good. Tristan Newton's taken like a huge step up. I'm going UConn here too. Vish.
Yeah. There's no chance. The last time we saw UConn,
Yeah,
they were,
we saw that up close.
Who knew the chain of events they're about to kick off for our program? But yeah, no, it's
Brendan
UConn. That's an easy
Swenson.
one.
That was his name for
There he
Stetson,
is.
the lefty. That's what it was. I knew it was something like that. It started with an S. All right, next game we got here. 8-seeded FAU. Obviously, they made it to the Final Four last season, as well as Miami. Just got to plug that in again. Going up against 9-seeded Northwestern. Vish, you want to start this one off? Who do you got in this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can tell from the predictions the seeds it's going to be pretty even. I'm going to go with Northwestern. I think FAU faded a little bit down the stretch here. Isn't playing their best ball. I think people forget they made the Final Four last year. They kind of got away with one in the first round last year with let's just call it little bit of controversial officiating where they tackled the player, got a jump ball, and got the ball back and hit the game winner. So and then they kind of got it going. I think especially after last year's run, they're not going to be overlooked. They're not going to sneak up on anyone. I'll take Northwestern here.
Yeah. I'm actually going with Northwestern as well. I love my boy, Bowie Bowie. I don't even know if that's how you say his name. Bowie, Bowie, whatever,
Bowie.
man. Putting up almost 20 a game. He's a baller. I'm going with Northwestern in this one as well. Brendo?
When I first made my bracket, I went Northwestern, but as I really sat and let that marinate for a little bit, I switched to Team Florida Atlantic. I just think experience of already being there. The nerves aren't going to be there because they had high expectations going into it as they were ranked and moving through, but after kind of falling off, I think some of those expectations have kind of left their shoulders. I just think if they can hold Boo Booey to a decent scoreline here, I think it'll be a close one, but I feel FAU winning this one.
Fair enough. Tommy?
This was a tough. It's gonna be a really good game. I'm actually very excited to watch this game, and took me a while, but I actually went FAU. I think they're just gonna have the experience, so like Brenda said, and I do think it's gonna be a really good game.
Fair enough. All right, next one. So we're split on that one.
Yeah, and I just realized there's no way this wasn't on purpose, right? That San Diego State, Connecticut, and FAU were like right next to each other in the bracket. I just realized that because we're clicking through an order. I'm like,
also things that are interesting for sure.
Yeah, how did that happen all of a sudden? I mean, we won't mention the team from the Final Four that's not in that corner, but just missed out. Missed out. Just what another 15 games would have been right in there. So
we're technically 4 games away after, if we would have won the first one. But besides the point, I mean, if NC State did it, we could have. All right.
Right.
We got San Diego State and UAB. Man, I think I'm going to go first on this one.
Do it.
5 seed, 12 seed. Obviously, this is a popular, upset seed lines with these 2 seed lines. I think this is going to be a close game. I really like UAB. I saw them play against Clemson in non-conference, but I think San Diego State's going to be too much. One of the best defenses in the country. I still think they're really good. I'm going with San Diego State in this one, but I think it's going to be a close game. You want to go, Brendo? And then we can...
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm also rolling San Diego State. I just think the defense is going to be a little... I feel like defense in March is a pretty good combo, and that's kind of what their thing was as they rolled through last year. But I just think the experience and Jaden Ledee, I feel like is someone that's just not going to be denied, at least in this first game. And so I'm rolling with the Aztecs.
Tommy?
Shout out to Max in the chat, also agreeing that no one can check Ledee. So
he's from San Diego, though. He's a little biased.
Well, I'm also going with San Diego as well. Just the experience right there. I do think this is actually going to be a really good game, though. I do like UAB a lot, but I don't think they have enough to get by San Diego.
Vish?
Yeah, I'm going. I remember all going with the 5 seed, huh? I'll go in San Diego State as well. Their defense is so tough, and I think UAB is not really used to playing against teams that D like that. And it's going to be, I think it's going to start slow for them as they try to adjust to that physicality. And
Oh,
by the time
I
they
just
come into it,
I just noticed that they have SDGST.
wait, what is that?
Max,
I mean,
yeah, Max pointed it out. That's like Long Beach State Beach.
beach.
I don't know if you ever noticed
Long
that.
Beach State, Long Beach State Beach is way worse, but this is pretty bad.
Yeah. Okay. That's
All
weird.
right, yeah.
So
good
we're all
point.
going San Diego State.
We're all
so
going San Diego State. Yeah.
it's
UAB
unanimous
will win that
decision.
one for sure. So.
Yeah, so UAB's got that one. All right, next up we got 4 seed Auburn against 13 seed Yale. Vish, you want to start it off and we'll go down? I'm just doing this random, so
Yeah, no, that's fine. I've got Auburn on this one. I'm not going to pretend like I've watched a lot of Yale play. To be honest, I'm not you two apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think they're more battle tested. I will say the one thing that made me pause on this is I don't think the locations are showing up here, but this is on the West Coast, so they're traveling, and I believe this is a West Coast location. Maybe I'm wrong. Should have looked that up. For some reason, I feel like they got sent cross country, but so that can kind of mess the team up. But I think Auburn's going to be a little bit too much here.
yeah. I got Auburn as well in this one. I'll be 100% honest. I haven't watched a whole lot of Auburn or Yale. I watched Yale in the Ivy League tournament, I think, for like a half. But I'm sure Brendan's going to tell me why I should be picking Yale right now. So go ahead, Brendan.
If they were playing someone other than Auburn, I think I could be going with Yale. I mean, Yale made it in with Princeton being favorite in the Ivy League tournament, got upset by Brown. And so Yale took down Cornell and then played Brown in the final. It was actually a great game. Brown coming on hot in the end after only winning they were like 6-17 and then won like 8 straight games. But Auburn just too physical. Their defense is so good. I think they're like 8th in the nation in scoring margin, winning a bunch of games by like more than 15 points. And I just think this will be another one where Auburn's one of my favorites to make a little run here. I don't think Yale's going to be able to slow them down enough.
Tom's?
I'm also rounding it out with Auburn. I think they're just too much to handle. Yeah, that's all I got. I don't watch much Yale basketball.
Wow, that's a shame. All right, next matchup.
I did look it up. It is in Spokane, so
there you go.
I mean, if you play looking forward, they have to play San Diego State on the West Coast. That's not great for Auburn. But
all right, next up we got 6-seeded BYU. First year in the Big 12, performed pretty well.
Yeah.
Going up against 11-seeded Duquesne. Let's go Tommy. First one on this one.
So BYU used to play in the WCC, so I follow BYU a lot. I haven't watched much this year, but knowing how they play, they are tough, they're well battled, and I'm taking BYU in this game.
Brendo?
I was so disappointed that Duquesne won the A-10. I love the A-10, but Richmond's one of my favorite teams to watch. They had a guard that was unreal this year, but Duquesne makes it in. I think they're like one of the lowest 11 seeds in like the net that there was or have been, right? And BYU is just a juggernaut offensively when it comes to shooting threes. They shoot, I want to say, almost leading the nation in how many they shoot. They shoot 32 threes a game.
Sounds like our men's league.
Right. And seriously, they can get hot. They got 2 big guys, and they just kind of rotate them out that play really well together. And they're one of the tallest teams in the entire field. And so I think, especially being tested in the Big 12, I feel like BYU's ready to win a couple games here.
Yeah, BYU, really efficient offense. Duquesne's a pretty good defense, but I mean, like you said, kind of overseeded here. I thought they would be more like of a 13 seed. I'm going with BYU in this one as well.
So I'm gonna break up our picking of favorites. I took Duquesne. Now, I don't really have a great reason. I mean, they played a surprisingly tough schedule for an A-10 team, but yeah, they're not. I mean, then like Brenda was saying, like they pulled an upset the tournament. They're not even the best A10 team, so it's not like. But they do play a little defense, and I picked them because I went to grad school in Pittsburgh and Duquesne's in Pittsburgh. So.
There you go.
There you go.
Hey, they're playing well at the right time.
I mean, I had to pick some up. I was going too chalk. I was like, oh crap, I got to pick something here. There's no way this is happening. So that was the one where I pulled the trigger.
All right, next one. We got 3-seeded Illinois going up against 14-seed Moorhead. I got Illinois in this one. I really like Illinois. Terrence Shannon had an unreal Big Ten tournament. Coleman Hawkins is one of my favorite players, one of the most versatile like bigs in college basketball. And then Dane Danger too, another solid big for them. I really like this team. I think they're well-rounded. I have Illinois here winning this game. Vish, you want to go up next?
Yeah, I have Illinois as well. And I think, Moorhead's a pretty poor 14. Not that there's like great 14 seeds, but there's nothing there as far as I'm concerned. They're not really tested. I would be shocked if they won this game. This is not like a Furman UVA situation. I guess that was 4-13, but I guess UVA is always suspect. But yeah, I got Illinois win this easily.
There you go. Brendo?
Again, I like Moorhead. Lead the Ohio Valley Conference in assists per game. So they move the ball. They share the ball well. I can see this being tight going into halftime, but I think Illinois is going to have a little too much and pull ahead in I'd say around 15-ish point victory.
Okay. Tom's?
Well, line is 12, so that's pretty good right there. But yeah, definitely going Illinois on this one.
Okay. All right. Let's get into the next one. So that was unanimous. Next one, we got 7-seed Washington State going up against 10-seed Drake. Drake's a familiar opponent for me and Vish. Obviously, Miami played them in the first round last year. That was a really tough game. Vish, do you want to start this one out?
Yeah, I went with Drake, basically because of that reason. I saw them play us in person and almost ruined my whole trip until the last 5 minutes of that game. Yeah, no, I mean they're a really good team, and I think the way that we beat them last year, they'll have learned from that. They blew that game. They melted down at the end. We put some pressure on. They kept turning it over. I think they'll be better prepared here, and I'm surprised. Look at the stats that I'm in the majority here, but in terms of predictions, but I got Drake.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I have Drake too. I do think Miles Rice is a great story. Of Washington State, their point guard. He's in his third year of college, but his first year actually playing. He overcame Hodgkin's lymphoma, and I think he's putting up like 15 a game or something like that. But has been super big for them. And it's a great story too, because Washington State, they've had some guys, but they haven't really been able to put it together. So, but they had a really good year this year in the last year of the Pac-12. But man, Drake is they're super gritty. Their big guy, Darnell Brody, is quite literally a grown man. He's in his 6th year of college basketball. And then Tucker DeVries too, man. He wasn't super efficient against us last year, but I feel like he's gonna be coming for blood. Definitely taking Drake here. But Brendan, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Bulldogs as well.
There you go.
I love Arch Madness and the Missouri Valley Conference. I actually went and watched a few of the Arch Madness games a couple years back. But Tucker DeVries, I think he's coming with a vengeance here. Watched a whole little snippet on him and his preparation after losing that game to Miami, and trying to get his body ready for the next step in the NBA, and then to really lock into this year. And so I think he's had a great year this year. One of the smallest teams in the field, but also one of the best defensive rebounding teams in the country. And I think that'll bode well for them here in this one, where they're going to limit Washington State to just one shot. And then I think they can grind it down. I think this will be a great game, but I think Drake will pull it out.
Yeah. Tommy?
Yeah, Tucker's a beast, averaging 21 a game this year. I really like Drake. I think this is going to be the first quote unquote upset.
There we go. All right.
We're getting comments
Well,
from the peanut gallery, Matt.
I know they're talking about Keenan Allen when we played against him in men's league.
We did play against him in men's league.
Yeah. All right. We got 2-seeded Iowa State going up against a 15-seed South Dakota State. I'll just start this one off. I got Iowa State. They've looked super impressive. Their defense is just amazing. I'm trying to think their second year point guard. I can't remember his name, Brendan. I know you would know his name, or maybe not.
No, names are bad. I'm bad with names.
Has been a beast for them. I know that's
Now, one of the best defensive guards in the country.
yeah. But yeah, no, I'm definitely going Iowa State here. Don't think it's close. But Brendan, what you think?
Yeah, rolling with it. Top 3 in the nation scoring defense. And I saw a stat that I was kind of shocked. They forced a turnover in over 25% of their opponent's possessions. So 1 out of every 4 possessions, they're forcing a turnover. I just think, man, like I'm kind of shocked that South Dakota State's got that 5% mark from the users, unless there's some Jackrabbit fans out there that are going hard for them. But I think Iowa State's going to make a deep run this year.
Yeah, Lipsy, that's his name.
Yes, Lipsy.
That's it. Tommy?
Yeah, I think Iowa State has too much going for them, and I think it's going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vish?
Yeah, this won't be competitive. Iowa State.
Yeah.
Big.
As much as it sucks, right? Because Iowa State fans are so freaking annoying, right, Vish?
I don't know. I mean, we knocked them out of the tournament 2 years ago. So.
I know, but they like constantly bashing Miami. It's really random and annoying.
It's weird,
Yeah.
but that's when they caught an L. That's why.
Yeah.
They missed.
All right. So
That's the end of this region. Yeah.
That's the end of this region. So let's go over. So should we go through games that we're most excited to watch? Maybe we'll start with Tom's and then go up.
Sure.
Tommy, favorite game from the East section?
Yeah, I think it's going to be FAU Northwestern. I think that game's going to be very, very good. It's going to be really close. I mean, 8-9s are always really close. I mean, there's something for that, but I think that's going to be fun.
Brendo?
I'm going to go. I'm actually kind of excited to see Illinois Moorhead. See if I always love to get excited, especially from the very beginning when the game actually is like tied when it's 0-0. And get pumped for every little bucket they get and see if they can make a little run going. And I mean, it's all about the little Cinderella stories and the upsets. So I'm excited to see if they can make a little splash happen here in the first half.
Yeah, no, I'm going with Drake and Washington State. Even though I picked Drake, I think it's going to be a close game still. I really like the way Washington State plays. I just think that Drake, I mean, after what happened last season, I think that, Tucker DeFries is going to really want it more. And a lot of those guys are, still on the team from last season as well. So I think it's going to be a really good game.
Yeah, I had the same one. Washington State, Drake. I agree. I think that's going to be the most competitive one.
Okay. Well, so should we get into the next section here? We got the South.
Let's go South.
All right. So we got Houston versus Longwood. I sent an interesting tweet to did I send it to both? Because Vish.
I saw it.
I have our buckets group, and then I have a group with just Tommy and Brendan that's just college basketball. Like it's literally college basketball chat or something. I sent I can't remember the schools, but it was a Reddit post that in every year of the
it's like the last year, like 4 years or something like that.
Yeah, a 1 or a 2 seed has lost to a school that has the name Cock or some association with some
Fairleigh
Dickinson,
Fairleigh Dickinson. So there's a lot of people circling this game.
2% apparently.
Hey, that's what got him over the 1% hump right there.
Apparently, I just don't see it happening. I think Houston and UConn are the 2 most dominant teams this year. I got Houston winning this one. Just the guard play. Jamal Sheed and LJ Cryer, just elite guards. Defensively, they're one of the best teams. They do all the little things, with boxing out, playing hard defense. I just like them, and I like them to go far as well. But should we go Vish?
Yeah. Not Longwood, let me put it that way. Definitely Houston. Not going to be close.
Okay.
Houston's also very. They play big boy basketball, so it's really hard for them for a smaller school to even stay on the court with them. They're going to beat up Longwood pretty badly.
Yeah. Brendo?
Yeah, man. Best defense in the country. Jamal Sheed. Also, I think my favorite player to watch. He's just a coach on the floor, and I really think that he's someone that going down the line here, it just makes the right play at the right time, can score when they need him to, but he's a guy where if a teammate hits a three, next time down the court in transition, he's trying to find him. Someone that just I love watching just as someone who enjoys basketball. He's definitely one of my favorite players to watch. So excited to see Houston's run this year.
You set it up for that, Matt.
I love it. All right. Tom's. I forgot who hadn't gone. Tommy, you're up.
Yeah, we're going Houston. There's not much to say. This game's gonna be a blowout.
All right. Next game. We got 8-seeded Nebraska going up against 9-seeded Texas A&M. I'll go first on this one. I think it's going to be a great matchup of guards. Wade Taylor, Kisei Tominaga. How do you say it? Tominaga. Sorry. Tominaga. Two explosive scores. Each have 7 30-point games this season. Random stat.
Look at that.
I have gone back and forth of this one. But I'm going with Nebraska in this one. So, Brendo, you want to go next?
Yeah. I think Tominaga is the X factor. I've seen multiple kind of times where when he kind of fades away, they have a tough time winning. But I just think that the stage is going to be set. I think he's going to be ready to get it rolling, and I think the kind of experience of Fred Hoiberg in these situations, I think is going to lead Nebraska to a close one, but I think they're going to pull it out in the end.
Okay, Tom's.
Yeah, I was going back and forth on this for a while, but you know what I do when I don't know what to do? I go and look at the Vegas lines. Vegas lines has Nebraska by 1.5. Vegas never loses. We're going Nebraska.
Vish.
Yeah, I picked Nebraska as well, but can I agree with what was already? It's a coin flip.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I think I picked all 9 seeds too when I was looking at this. So I was like, okay, I got to pick an 8 seed somewhere. I know the 9 seeds win a majority of them, but yeah. All right. So next up, we got 5-seeded Wisconsin, who I believe lost in the Big Ten championship game, right?
Correct.
To Illinois, and going up against James Madison. I watched part of their game, to be honest with you. So I'm interested. I'm gonna start with Brendan first because I might shift my opinion here. So go ahead, Brendo.
Yeah. I think I'll start at James Madison. I felt like this would be more of a user pick team in the 5-12 matchup. They're streaky, but if they get hot, they really get it going. They athletic guys all over the place. They enter on 13-game win streak. Entered the tournament. That is, they started the year on a 14-game win streak, and they beat Michigan State during that time. And so there's your record versus the top 25 until Michigan State fell off a little bit. But I mean, I feel like this Wisconsin team is a little different than the other teams that they've had. They roll like 11 guys deep. And I just think that the ability to kind of ease into pace of play, kind of with the nerves going, if they can kind of slow down James Madison's runs and don't let them get on a 10-0 run, maybe it gets to 5, but then they run something and get a good bucket. I think Wisconsin's going to win this one, but James Madison's a really fun team to watch.
Tommy?
Yeah, this one was tough too. It's going to be a really good game, I think. I don't think Wisconsin is as good as they were, but I do think they somehow sneak this out and then they get rocked by Duke.
Okay. Vish,
All right.
you want to go next, and then I'll finish it off?
Yeah, I've got Wisconsin as well. I know they didn't play well in the Big Ten championship game, but they were playing really well leading up to that. So, yeah, James Madison, as Brendo says, playing great right now, but I think Wisconsin's playing well as well. And their depth, and they're much more I mean, it's hard to find a bigger split in terms of strength of schedule than this.
Yeah.
So I just think they've been more tested and can probably take a punch better than James Madison can at this point.
Yeah. I saw a stat, James Madison 17-0 when they shoot over 37.5% from three. Wisconsin gives up like one of the highest, or I think the highest 3-point percentage in the field of the tournament. So that's something to kind of look at. But that being said, I think AJ Storr is playing probably the best basketball he's played all year. Averaged 23 a game in the Big Ten tournament. A guy that actually Miami was kind of going after in the portal as well. Just had to throw that out there for the Miami fans. I'm going with Wisconsin in this one as well. I just think they're going to be too much. But yeah, I got Wisconsin as well.
Yeah, Max, we're not doing that. So
we can do it after.
Well, I don't think it can. It's not official, so
or we can still do it.
We can do it, but it's not. I think you probably know what the answer is already. So now
I actually don't. I actually
okay,
don't know what the answer
is. We'll close with that, Max.
Remind me, because I'm gonna forget.
All right.
All right. We got 4-seeded Duke going up against 13-seeded Vermont, the Catamounts.
Hey, great matchup.
Let's go. Let's start with Tom's here. Who you got in this one?
Awesome. This is going to be a close game, I think, actually. Closer than you actually think, but I think Duke sneaks it out just because their experience. I think Duke has this one.
Okay. Brendan?
Yeah, close game against Vermont, blowing out Wisconsin. I like it, Tom's. But yeah, I mean, Vermont, great team, American East, but I just Duke's going to be too much early for a team like Vermont to handle. I of all the 13s, I don't have as much of a vibe on Vermont than I do some of the others, so I'm going to roll with Duke.
Yeah. Vermont, a team, they're undersized, not the greatest shooting team. And I mean, I've seen Mark Mitchell completely body the entire Miami Hurricanes team. I think Duke is going to dominate with their size, athleticism. I got Duke in this one. I don't think it's going to be a close game either.
Yeah, Duke is going to kill them, but fuck Duke. Oops.
What's up, Melissa?
It's our co-host who's at work.
There we go.
Anyway, that was the expert. That's the expert analysis you come on the show for. So
there it is.
All right, we got 6-seeded Texas Tech going up against 11-seeded NC State. I'll go first on this one. NC State 4-game losing streak going into the ACC tournament. Somehow find a way to win 5 straight days to win the ACC tournament. Just been playing really well. DJ Horn kind of had a few injuries early on in the ACC tournament, came back with a vengeance. DJ Burns was doing his thing, botting guys.
Mr. Cadillac.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. But Texas Tech, great shooting team. NC State does have trouble defending the 3, but honestly, I think NC State's on a roll. I think they keep it going. I think that they upset Texas Tech here. Should we go? Let's go Vish, and then yeah.
Yeah, I actually picked NC State as well. I can't believe DJ Burns still had gas left in the tank for the 5th game, but but he did. One of those went to overtime too. But yeah, no, I think we're obviously familiar with a lot of NC State players because they play in play Miami. But yeah, they're kind of tough to play against. They have a lot of guys that can score. It's a tough matchup, and I think DJ Burns is a pain in the butt to guard. He's huge. If you haven't seen him, he's robust, let's call it. But he's actually got quick feet, really good passer. It's a tough matchup, and assuming Horn is healthy and ready to go now, I like NC State.
Yeah, Brendo.
I think I'm going with the Red Raiders on this one. I think NC State's coming in hot, but I feel like that's where their Cinderella story ends. This clock struck midnight. I just think Tech's going to be a little too much here coming out of the Big 12. Great conference, and they've just kind of gone through enough of those battles that I feel like it's really hard to beat a team multiple times. So when you're playing other teams in your conference, I think that's how kind of NC State was able to kind of sneak up on some of those guys. I just think Texas Tech's gonna take it down here in this matchup.
Tom's.
Yeah, this one was really tough. I think this game's gonna be really good. I mean, NC State has been on fire. I mean, I was going back and forth, and you know what I went? You already know where I went. To Vegas. Vegas has Texas Tech by 4.5, so I'm picking Texas Tech.
Oh my God! All right,
Vegas never loses.
we're split
Just
2-2. All right, split 2-2. Next one, we got 3-seeded Kentucky going up against 14-seed Oakland. When I saw this real quick, I forgot it's not the Oakland in California. DJ Burns playing left guard. There you go. I forgot that it wasn't the Oakland in California. I think aren't they a D2 school now?
What?
No, I don't know about the Oakland. I was gonna say it's in Michigan.
I didn't even know that Oakland. There was an Oakland college in Oakland.
Isn't there?
I have no idea. There could very well be.
Oh, never mind. I don't know. Anyways, well, if there is, shout out to Oakland University or Oakland, whatever it is.
Oakland University, CA.
This one's in Michigan, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think it's in Michigan. I'm going Kentucky here. I mean, just great offensive team. I think it's gonna be too much. I don't know. Just I saw snippet of one of their games in the Horizon Tournament for Oakland. I don't think they're gonna have enough to match up with Kentucky. So I'm going Kentucky here. Let's go, Brendo.
Yeah, I mean Kentucky, best shooting team in the nation. They have 3 guys on their roster that shoot over 44% from 3, and they got an individual. Shepard shoots greater than 52% from 3. So man, they got the firepower. But this is my upset special.
Oh,
The Golden Grizzlies of Oakland, led by Trey Townsend, scoring 38 points, 11 rebounds in their conference championship game. But the name that's going to flow like that one dude from St. Peter's with the stash, Mr. Dougie Buckets, Jack Golke. My guy in this season has shot over 300 threes, and he shot 8 twos. This guy is just slinging it. He's going to get hot. Oakland's going to take down Kentucky. They're going to have a cold shooting night from 3. It's going to all of a sudden the nerves are going to start hitting. First game. All the other fans that are in attendance are jumping on Oakland's back. Look for the Golden Grizzlies to get out of this first day. I
love it. So for reference, Vish, you know how Jack McClinton always says, there's never a 3 he doesn't like, right? When he's announcing or doing play-by-play for the. So a little backstory, Brendan, I don't know exactly the record. So for state, I think for career 3-pointers, you're like in the top 3, right?
Yeah, I'm number 3 in CIF in all-time threes made in a season, and number 3 in CIF all-time threes made in a career. Yeah, it's pretty good high school.
So if there's anything this guy loves, it's shooting threes. So of course, Golke, is that how you say his name?
Yeah, my guy.
There you go. Tom's, what are you doing? You going with the upset here? Or?
No upset special today. We're going Kentucky. They got too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vish, I don't even
Yeah,
remember if you picked yet.
I did not. I did have the
Okay.
misfortune of seeing Kentucky in person one time this
Oh,
year.
yeah.
That was enough. I'll go with Kentucky.
Yeah, and they were missing their big guy too. Both of them actually. Okay, next one.
Speaking of bad decisions to attend Miami games,
All right.
there's another one that I.
Oh yeah, they really just wanted to troll us and put them back to back.
1-2 punch on that one.
So we got 7 seed Florida going up against 10 seed Colorado. I'll go with this one. First. I'm going with. I love the guards for Florida. I think they're really good, but man, I think Colorado is just such a complete team. You watch them, tonight. I don't know if you guys watch them against Boise State, but they're just so well rounded. They have guys with like established roles that really know, what they're doing on the floor. KJ Simpson's one of the best guards in the country, really talented. And then they have a young guy like Cody Williams and, Tristan Da Silva too is, a guy that really contributes both sides of the floor. Really good defender, lockdown defender. I like Colorado in this one. And I actually have them upsetting Marquette too in the next round. So, Tommy, and then we can work our way up.
Yeah, this was tough. I actually watched that Florida game, their final game, and that guy got injured, which terrible to see live.
Yeah,
and I think that's gonna be a big blow. I mean, anytime you lose one of your top 5 starters, that's definitely tough. Colorado won. It was tonight, I believe. I'm looking at the score right now.
It just finished like an hour ago.
Yeah. So they're coming off that win right now. I think this is gonna be an upset. I'm taking Colorado.
There you go.
All right. This one, Colorado, like you said, KJ Simpson, great player. Florida, though, I've watched a few of their games, and I think they're going to make a little run here. 40% of their shots end with an offensive rebound. That's a pretty good stat when you're coming into March and you need to get some easy buckets. I think that they lead the nation in defensive rebounds. I just think Colorado is going to get one shot, be done, and Florida is going to roll. And if they miss, every 10 shots they're getting 4 of them and putting them back up. I just think Florida is going to kind of grind this one. I think it'll be a great game, but I think Florida is grinding this one out and getting the victory here.
Okay, Vish.
Yeah, I got Colorado. Another team I saw in person below Miami out. And also there's just I'm never picking Florida, so there's that.
Absolutely.
There's principles here.
Hey, fair enough. Good thing USC is not on the board.
There you go. Who's St. Mary's rivalry? Is that Gonzaga? Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. All right. Well, we got 2-seeded Marquette here going up against Western Kentucky. You already know who I picked because I said Colorado is going to take down Marquette. But I'm going with Marquette here. I think Tyler Kolek should be back, right, for this game.
He said he participated in full practice yesterday.
Okay, so I know this is the one 2-15 upset that a lot of people are picking, like in Vegas and whatnot. Shaka Smart's 1-8 in the tournament in his last 9 appearances. So should we go Fish here and then work our way down?
Yeah, I've got Marquette. Although I do think they're a weak 2 seed. Struggled against better teams, but I don't think Western Kentucky is necessarily in that class. So I think they'll be fine this game. I know you picked them. I actually did pick them over Colorado, but I was debating it. I know Matt pulled the trigger there. I think Marquette is going to exit earlier than their seed, but I think they'll be fine in this game.
Yeah. Brendo?
Yeah, I mean, greatest mascot in the nation, Hilltoppers. You get to see the little red guy shaking around. It's a good time.
Red Grimace or whatever.
Yeah, Red Grimace. We actually got to figure out what his name is. But West Kentucky plays at the fastest pace in all of college basketball. But they also don't shoot a lot of threes. And so I think what's going to be tough is when Marquette kind of plays some defense and stops those fast breaks, going to have a hard time finding points. So I think Marquette's got this one with a unique spelling of their name right here. but I think the question is going to be, is Tyler Kolek back fully, or is he just back in body? And I too also think whoever takes that Florida Colorado game is going to give him something in that next round.
Yeah. Tom's?
Yeah, it's rounded out. I think Marquette is just too good, too experienced to lose at least this first one.
Yeah.
Round
Okay.
two.
So should we go through our favorite game in this region? I think we started with Tommy on this last time, so I'll go with Vish, I guess.
Yeah, I got Colorado and Florida. I mean, I don't have a rooting interest because Miami just barely missed out on the bubble there, but so I can cheer against Florida. That's good enough for me to watch the game.
There you go. I got Nebraska, Texas A&M. We talked about those two guards battling it out. I think that's going to be a great game. But yeah, that's the one I would highlight. Brendo?
I got to go with my boys, Golden Grizzlies, Oakland, taking down Kentucky. It's going to be a great game. Golke is going to become a household name, going to go crazy all over Instagram, I'm sure. It'll be his Dougie Buckets moment.
There we go.
And I'm going Nebraska, Texas A&M. That game's going to be a coin flip. That's going to be fun to watch.
Okay.
I do think James Madison will be a fun watch, and I'd pick that game if I wasn't so invested. But
all right, next section. We are in the West here. First one, are we just gonna go across the board? I'll take UNC here, or
Yeah.
okay. So we just get into the next one then.
Yeah.
why is it 2%? I
I
don't
don't
know.
want to talk about UNC anymore. All right. Oh, I think this is an interesting one.
Yeah.
8-seeded Mississippi State. I love the just seeing all those S's there. Going up against Michigan State. Tom, do you want to take it first, or?
Oh, man. I was so torn on this one.
Yeah.
I will go last.
Okay. I'm going to say I'm torn because I don't entirely trust either team. Feel like there's been inconsistencies and whatnot throughout the season. Obviously, Michigan State started out ranked. There are higher expectations for them. But, I mean, it's Izzo, so you never know. I'm going purely just because of coaching here. I'm going with Michigan State. Vish?
Sitting there on mute. Yeah, I have Michigan State too, also because the coaching that kind of worries me as a rationale, because I feel like that's why there's a 60-40 split in a game that's really even. Should be more 50-50 in terms of the picks. So I'm like, am I just like going with the flock? It's going to blow up in my face here. But I mean, it's an 8-9, so it's a coin flip in a certain sense. So I picked Michigan State.
Okay. Brendo?
Yeah, I mean, I was back and forth just like you guys. I think experienced backcourt for Michigan State. I just think the slumps of recent. I mean, they've played a little bit better down the stretch here, but I think I'm actually going to roll with Mississippi State. Josh Hubbard, their little point guard. I think he's gonna start slinging out there. He's gonna get hot. I think he's gonna kind of lead Mississippi State to victory.
There you go. Tommy?
Yeah, like you said, it's going to be a coin flip. I'm going Michigan State just because purely coaching, but
I think this is the first one we've been 3-1 on. I think every single one's been 4-0 or 2-2. So it says a lot about
Oakland.
Oh, yeah, Oakland. Okay.
Right.
Don't worry. There's going to be another one, too. I think I'm going to be by myself on. So we can talk about that later, though. All right. Next up, we got we got 5-seeded Saint or Mary CA. I don't know
Mary. I mean,
CA.
we gotta figure out who on CBS did these abbreviations. I got so many questions.
Well, why GC? You can't just add the U in? It's
right.
That makes no sense. Going up against GCU, Grand Canyon University. Toms, you want to go first or you want to go
I'll
last?
go last. I want to go
Okay.
last.
We'll let you, since you are the resident St. Mary's fan. Vish, you want to go first, or I'll go first, then we'll go Vish and then Brendan, and then we can go to Tom's. So, St. Mary's going up against Grand Canyon. St. Mary's plays a little bit of a slower pace, looks to get a good shot, right, every possession. I think that's going to really mess with Grand Canyon. Obviously St. Mary's is a great defensive team too. St. Mary's started a little slow, but they've picked it up of recent, as you know, Tom's, right? And I think they have the most underrated guard duo in the country with Marshallonis and Mahaney too. 359th in average possession length, which is insane. I think there's like 363 teams in Division I college basketball. So, they hold the ball a lot. I just think it's a really bad matchup for Grand Canyon. I probably would have taken him in one of the other 12-5 games. But I'm going with St. Mary's here. And I like St. Mary's making a little run here too. So, Vish, you want to go next?
Yeah, I agree. I think St. Mary's is really good. I do have them winning more than just this game, which I guess I tipped that I have them winning this game. Even though they played a slow pace, they're very efficient. Like you mentioned, the backcourt, they also, shoot the three ball well, but they also have size. So they're kind of really well balanced. They can kind of play different styles. And I don't think this is going to, for a 12-5, I don't expect this to really be competitive.
Brendo?
Yeah, I think this one's actually going to be a great game. St. Mary's, like you're talking about pace of play, like they're cool with wait until there's 10 seconds left on the shot clock to then get a little pick and roll and try to find something down the stretch. They're very comfortable with late clock situations, which is awesome. My only thing that I keep thinking back to is the second time they played Gonzaga when they lost. They got smashed, and it was when Gonzaga was running, and GCU likes to push the pace. And Tyon Grant Foster, I think he's going to make a name for himself. I want to then continue to say I think Grand Canyon is going to win, but I think St. Mary's is going to slow it down enough to really value those possessions. And in March Madness, down the stretch, every possession is going to matter. And I think I also believe that they're going to make a little run here, but I think GCU is going to make a game of it. Best fans in the nation, in my opinion, student section wise. The havoc is unbelievable.
Tom's?
All right, so yeah, like you were saying earlier, I went to St. Mary's, so I'm very familiar. I watch every game. I do think our backcourt is awesome with our two guards. One thing that no one knows is that Joshua Jefferson, our starter, is out for all March, which sort of is a bummer, but I do think it's going to be a great game. I do think we end up winning, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks like we got some Max is also
My boy
got
is on
ties to
Snap.
St.
Dude,
Mary's.
Tommy, you might know him. You might know him.
Maybe.
But also it wasn't enough to get him to pick him.
Tommy, but you did the play-by-play for like the student radio, for like the school radio, right? For
Yeah, I was on 3 years doing play-by-play for St. Mary's, so it was so much fun.
That's all. Do you know that name that Max posted?
I didn't see the name. What was it?
Joe Rayhan?
Oh, yeah, Rayon's the man. Hell yeah.
There it is.
Oh, there you go.
There's the dude. Yeah, he's a good dude. Yeah, he's
That's
from SoCal,
awesome.
actually. His grandparents go to my church down here in Huntington.
Bang.
Wait, so you
What
actually
What is happening here?
Wait, so you know one of our that's crazy. We're gonna have to talk to Max about that later.
What the hell just happened?
I don't know.
Yeah, Tommy knows everyone.
We're like, why don't we do this? Why don't we take our Miami focused show and break down the NCAA tournament, and then we get to St. Mary's, and it's like
Everyone.
So
knows
for those
everyone.
that yeah, well, I mean, because Max is from California, but he's also, I mean, he's on a network we're affiliated with too, that we work closely with, the Flow Network that covers Miami sports, which is why he's in the chat. So it's just bizarre. Anyway,
Funny.
small world.
That's funny. All right. Next one. We got 4-seeded Alabama going against 13-seed Charleston. let's go. Brendo. You want to go first?
Sure. I feel like as watching their conference tournament, Charleston is not the Charleston that kind of came before them. Alabama, highest scoring offense in the nation, scoring over 90 points a game. Kind of the opposite of St. Mary's. Their average possession length is 14 seconds. If you like teams running up and down and getting it up, I think Alabama is your team to watch. I think it's going to be fascinating if St. Mary's can win that game against GCU. Watching the two super contrasting styles go up against each other in the next round. But I think Alabama's got this one easier than the 12% users pick suggests.
Tommy?
Yeah, I'm going Alabama in this one too. I just think experience will do too much, and I think that next game's gonna be awesome.
Okay. Vish?
Yeah, I got Bama as well. I was checking on the site because I thought I remembered it correctly. This is also this quadrant's in Spokane, so it's another one where, you know, obviously both these teams are kind of in the southeastern United States, but next round, you know, you got like St. Mary's there. But yeah, I got Bama on this one.
Okay, I got Alabama as well. One of the best.
Matt, you recently dealt with the time zone lag and what that does to you. I think it's kind of underrated that they.
Well, I took a red eye flight too, though. So I mean, you got
but not just that. So
and I took Spirit. So I don't think these guys are taking Spirit.
Those were choices you made, but no, it is a little weird on your body clock. Cause I was turning games on. He's like, "Wait, why is this game starting at like 11 p.m.?" Because it's the East Coast, man. We were watching St. Mary's. Actually, we were watching St. Mary's, and it was like tipping at like 11:30. He's like, "Why is this game tipping at 11:30 p.m.?" I was like, "But when we watch West Coast basketball, this is what we got to do, man."
It was kind of awesome though that you could just watch basketball till 2 a.m. Like, I don't know, but
great for the night owls.
Yeah. Only other thing I was gonna say is I was actually kind of debating taking Charleston in that, just because of the stylistic of play and whatnot. I thought if Alabama doesn't have a good shooting night, Charleston, they're used to that pace. They could play to it. They're knocking down shots, but I went with Alabama there. Really like Mark Sears and stuff. So next one.
It's the one that's personal to this show.
Yeah, this one, heated matchup. Probably one of the most important games of the tournament here at Buckets, just because of implications of everything that could happen. We got 6-seeded Clemson going up against 11-seeded New Mexico. I'm going to go last. I'll let Brendo go, Tommy go, then Vish. Brendo, go ahead.
All right. I think I'll please the crowd here and say I'm massively pulling for New Mexico in this one. And I also think New Mexico might get it done. I just think they got some great guard play. House and Mashburn Jr. They're not really 3-point shooters either, but they really like to attack the basket. And I think in games in March where sometimes if teams rely too heavily on the three and they don't fall, that's kind of their doom. And I think New Mexico is going to get fouled, get to the line, and kind of get this little 6-11 upset, although users pick looking like it's getting a little closer to 50-50. But I did pick New Mexico in this one in my own bracket too.
Okay. Tommy?
Yeah, this one's going to be really good. This is probably, besides St. Mary's, my next most excited to watch. You know what I had to do? I had to go to Vegas. Vegas had 2.5 for New Mexico. So I went New Mexico.
Oh, they do? Oh, wow.
Favored.
2.5 favored.
Yeah. Okay. Vish?
I mean, do you even have to ask? There's no way we're picking PJ Hall and his mom. So
yeah.
For those that are new to the show, we got into a PJ Hall's mom when Miami beat them.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. Brendan and Tommy know about it.
This is a blood feud. But do they know about Mustafa Umzil, the backup who's probably not going to even play on New Mexico?
Oh, I forgot about him.
There's ties all over this man. There's ties all over.
Is he on New?
Yeah, I think it's on New Mexico, right? It wasn't
Is
state.
it New Mexico or New Mexico State?
I think it's New Mexico. Oh God, don't tell me I screwed that up. Hold on, I'm googling it. But either way,
I don't think he's good enough to play at New Mexico.
He is a New Mexico Lobo forward. That is exactly what he is.
There
Oh,
you
he
go.
is. Okay. He can't
Yes.
dribble though. All right.
Yeah, he's averaging 20 minutes a game. Is that for real?
Oh wow.
Dude's
We're
a
gonna see
stud.
the man make an appearance. Look at that.
We will. Wow. And almost Kane. There's a few of them we've talked about.
I mean, I don't think he was actually
Honestly,
because I don't think he goes to New Mexico.
I think the thing I was gonna say though, the odds I feel like are indicated of like it's almost like the seeding should be reversed here. Clemson is drastically overseeded. They were awful. I mean, I don't want to say okay. They were bad in ACC play. They finished 6th behind Pitt and Wake, who didn't even make the tournament, and they ended up being a 6 seed. There's no way in hell I'm going to take Clemson in this game. I like New Mexico. I like Jalen House. I like Jamal Mashburn. I think it'd be too much. Joe Girard's going to get played off the court. That little leprechaun is not going to be able to stay on the court.
About the Girard feud too, man. We really hate Clemson.
Yeah. And PJ Hall is going to foul out because Jalen House and Jamal Mashburn are going to be taking it to him all night long. He's going to cry himself to sleep to his mom. PJ Hall's mom, I didn't forget about you. You still suck. I don't like you. And you know, I'm glad your son got to go to the tournament, but he's not going to be winning a game.
Yeah, and actually, like doing.
Have fun watching him in Croatia.
No. But actually, Matt and I have been talking about this all year. We didn't get, I guess, you know, like obviously, like Clemson, whatever they did in the non-conference, which if you just look at it, isn't that impressive. They basically beat Alabama, and that's it.
In South Carolina, but
like juiced their computer rating so much that like they were a lock the entire year. Meanwhile, they're like 8th in the ACC, 7th, 6th, and the ACC ain't that good. And it's just like you can't beat these teams. Like they lost to us. Like that should get you disqualified automatically. I don't know what that was. I mean, like they are way overrated. Way overrated. Yeah. They're not like if they were playing Pitt, I would take Pitt every day right now. Like Pitt's a much better team when you watch.
I would take
play.
Pitt or Wake above them.
Yeah, I don't know what we gotta study their ways, man, so we can just like lose all our conference games and be locked into the 6th seed anyway.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, they're not good. They're way overseeded.
Anyways. All right. Next up. Oh, I forgot about this one. I didn't even write anything down for this one. All right, we got 3-seeded Baylor going up against 14-seeded Colgate. I'll go first on this one. Yeah. I picked Colgate. Was it 2 years ago when they made it? I want to say, and I can't. Who did they play in the first round? I can't remember. Was it Gonzaga? Or I don't know who it was, but I picked them. Didn't go well. They got blown out.
Dominated.
Yeah, they got dominated. Athleticism was too much. I'm taking Baylor here. Like Brendo.
Yeah, I'm rolling with Baylor. I think their lack on defense at times is gonna kind of cause them to stumble down the stretch, which is an interesting New Mexico matchup in the next round. But they do shoot a lot of threes. They do make a lot of threes. They got 3 guys that shoot better than 40%. They're top 5 in the nation in 3-point percentage as a team. So I think this game will also be a blowout. Taking the Bears.
There you go. Tommy?
Let's keep it going. Baylor, easy. W.
All right, Vish, there you go.
Yep, concur. Baylor, easy dub.
You didn't have to check you didn't have to check Vegas. All right. We got Dayton versus Nevada. 7-seed Dayton going up against 10-seed Nevada. I honestly didn't watch Dayton this year at all. Or I might have watched them in a non-conference like tournament at the beginning of the season. But I mean, you look at the resume record versus top 25. I think did they only have like one quad 1 win or something, or not even that? I mean, I'm purely going for Nevada here just because they have a guy on their roster named Kobe Elvis. Yeah, so great name. It's a name that sounds great in March. Only going with Nevada because of that. No other reason.
I will say we gotta do a case study on Dayton and how you end up with an 18th strength of schedule when you only played one top 25 team and lost to them.
It was, I don't know. It was,
There-
it's insane.
There's gotta be. I mean, we gotta get our math department involved or something, man, because our numbers always suck. Like we win the ACC and get a 5 seed because like the numbers suck. We gotta. This is sorcery over here, man.
That A10 basketball.
But yeah, Brendo, who you got?
I'm rolling with Nevada here as well. I think Blackshear's a beast. I think he's gonna come alive in this tournament. I just don't think that they're much like I don't. It's just in comparison wise with where Dayton's at, where the other Mountain West teams were. I think Nevada's taking this one.
Yeah. Tommy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really good game, I think. And I had to use the Vegas lines in this one. I will be honest, and they had 1.5 favorites for Nevada, so I went Nevada.
Vish.
Yeah, I went with Nevada as well. In addition to kind of everything else we mentioned, I think I'm the only one that looks at location. This thing's in Salt Lake. Dayton's not traveling across country and beating Nevada there. So,
boom.
There you go.
Location is an underrated thing that you should be looking up. Look
at that.
Oh, and now we got the main event.
I like Vish out here.
Oh,
here we go. It's the big one.
Main event.
All right, we got 2-seeded Arizona.
So after getting to know Matt and finding the 700 different ways they abbreviate Long Beach State or Cal State Long Beach, I've never seen LNG BCH until just now.
Yeah, we haven't seen that one.
I
would not.
That's a new one.
I wouldn't want to see that on a hoodie, though. I'll tell you that.
Speaking of which, wow, that was timely. Hoodie girl.
No, there you go. Go Beach.
Go Beach. Matt, should we start with you or end with you? How are we doing this?
Oh no, I'll go first. I'm ready for this one, baby.
Right, there we go.
All right, we got 2-seeded Arizona going up against 15-seed Long Beach. It's gonna be a tough game. Arizona's got a lot of talented players. Caleb Love. I'm trying to think of the other guard. He's from Europe. I can't remember his name. I think he's from Europe. But Balo too got some size. You know, Long Beach State. It's been a great story with Dan Munson basically getting fired but still coaching. I don't know if you guys saw the pressers.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But you know, there's just something about this team. It's just, you know, I just feel it with the beach. I'm taking 15-seeded Long Beach to take down Arizona. I put my own money on it. I put $100 on Long Beach.
I still can't believe you put $100
Arizona.
on fire, man.
Let's go Long Beach. I can't even say I was going to say let's go 49ers, but they're not even called the 49ers
The
anymore.
Beach, baby.
The Beach.
Okay, that's the nickname. I couldn't remember what it was. It's 49ers.
Yeah.
No, it used to be 49ers. They got rid of it. It's not like, yeah, politically
Their nickname
correct.
is the Beach. That is their mascot.
So that is their actual.
The Beach.
The mascot is the Beach.
I think that's why on ESPN it says Beach.
Yeah.
That is why
Long
it's
Beach
okay.
State
That makes sense.
Beach.
Long Beach State Beach. It should have been the whatever.
That didn't click in my head, you know, because I'm used to seeing 49ers from when I was there. But shout out, quick story about Dan Munson. I used to have a basketball class in the pyramid. They stopped doing it. So Long Beach State plays in a pyramid. I just realized that no one's going to know what the hell I'm talking about. Yeah, greatest arena in college basketball. Vish and Melissa didn't know about it, obviously. So I enlightened them, showed them. So we used to go and play in there every morning. And so it was during basketball season. So they'd have it all set up. So like all the scores table was there and everything. And I used to, this entrance I would take, I would walk in and I would walk right by Dan Munson's office. And so there was one day I was wearing my Miami hoodie and I walked by and I was going to the class and he's like, hey, he's like, no Long Beach hoodie. And I was like, oh, sorry, coach. I'll tell you what, I got one now. Shout out to Melissa, our co-host. She got me a Long Beach State hoodie that I hope it gets here in time. I don't think so though.
I mean, it's got to be a short delivery. I mean,
we'll see.
How long did it take to deliver something from Long Beach?
When I used to order stuff from the bookstore, it was actually pretty quick. So
It should. You might get it. You might get it in time for game time.
I think so. Yeah, but I got the beach. Go beach. All right, Vish. All right, I already know who you're gonna pick, Vish. So go ahead.
I'm sorry, man. Zona's gonna kill them.
What?
It's not gonna be competitive at all. This is gonna be a blowout. I watched way too much Long Beach State basketball over the tournament because of you, and I'm like, there's no way these guys normally shoot like this. And I looked it up, and they do not. So I don't think it's gonna. They got hot and played well. Like they made a huge comeback in the championship game to win it. Kudos to Beach, but that's gonna end, and unfortunately, it's gonna end at your guy Caleb Love, who you hate. So it's not gonna be a good night for Matt there. But
quick story too. So Dan Munson used to be the head coach at Gonzaga. Tommy Lloyd, current head coach of Arizona. Dan Munson, before he left to go coach somewhere else, I can't remember if he left. Was it for Minnesota or somewhere else?
Mm-hmm.
Before he left Gonzaga, he was going to hire Tommy Lloyd. Well, he ended up leaving sooner. Mark Few ended up hiring Tommy Lloyd as his assistant. So they all kind of know each other, and they all linked up at the tournament as well. They all ended up going to dinner. So, but yeah, Brendo.
Yeah. So actually, another part of that story is Tommy Lloyd was like, he was a JC guy and wanted to come play at Gonzaga, and Munson told him he wasn't good enough. And Lloyd said that he appreciates it though, because that's what kind of led him to where he was and to being a coach and stuff. So that's kind of cool. But I think in this one, he's going to have to tell him he's not good enough again, because
Let's
Beach of Long Beach.
Let's go.
Come through in this one. And I got some things we got to talk about. Okay. Abubakar Traore, my guy. Right, he has had the first triple-double in Big West tournament history. He's been playing really well, and he's currently observing Ramadan. And so his mind's right. Spiritually, he's in it. And the game starts at 12 o'clock their time in Salt Lake. And so he won't be like not being able to eat for an entire day and then having to play. And so I think that bodes well. And I think at the end of the day, Marcus Shahonis, the guy that started his career at UW, University of Washington. And so he has played Arizona before. And in the two games that he played against them, he scored double figures in both those games as a young lad. So I think now here he's averaging 17 points a game, 2 assists, almost 3, and a steal and a half or so. I think Long Beach just has the story. And Vish was right. They don't normally shoot like that, but they also don't normally play for a coach that's not getting paid and volunteering. And they're doing this one for him. And I think they
mention
awesome story here.
They have someone on their roster named Messiah.
Hey, let's go.
Tommy.
Oh man, this is tough. Long Beach is literally 10 minutes away.
Are you gonna go against the boys?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No,
What's Vegas say, Toms?
Okay, so Vegas says 21 points. So if I was a betting man, I would bet the house that Long Beach covers that, because I don't think Arizona wins by 21. So that's the best of both worlds. I'm going to pick Arizona for the bracket. I'm hoping Beach wins, but I just know they won't. But Beach will cover, so if you're a betting man, bet Beach. They're going to cover. They're not going to cover 21.
Okay.
Before we move to the final region.
Oh, what's up?
I wanted to quickly give my prediction for that part of the bracket.
Go ahead.
Okay, there you go. Go Beach. Let's go.
I got Beach winning. I got Beach beating Arizona. My Long Beach hoodie's not gonna get here till next Tuesday, unfortunately, according to the tracking. But
well, according to all of you, they'll be preparing for the Sweet 16. So what's the problem?
Wait, can you guys tell the quick story of what happened with the bookstore? Do you
Oh.
have time, Melissa?
So yeah, I have a minute. So I ordered a hoodie for myself. I told Vish I bought it for all three of us, but I told Vish to order it and I'd Venmo him because I didn't want to have to keep putting in the different addresses. So then I ordered for Matt separately. The bookstore literally called me the next day to confirm it wasn't fraud because they're not used to shipping hoodies like outside of California. So I had to and then they called Vish later that day and his credit card even the bank frauded him.
The
fraud
brand
alerted him.
fraud activity flagged it. I had to call
Yeah.
them to get like a stop of my card. My card stopped working. I'm like, what is this? I was like, did you actually charge for a hoodie at Long Beach State's bookstore? Like,
I
can't
paid
even
for
explain.
three hoodies that say beach basketball on them so that all three of us could have beach hoodies.
There we go.
Nice.
And if you know my background, hoodies are my thing. So I don't just buy any hoodie.
Just got to rep it.
Go beach.
There we go.
All right, I have to go back to work now. Bye,
All
y'all.
right,
All right,
thanks
see
for
you, Melissa.
stopping in, Melissa.
Go Beach.
There we go. I'm pumped, man. I'm juiced.
Hey, that's tomorrow at 11 Pacific.
Wait, we have to recap our favorite game, right?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
what-
I jumped
Yeah.
ahead there. Yeah.
I don't even remember what I was gonna pick. Well, actually, I know.
I mean, you know what
Long
you're picking.
Beach.
All right, so we got Long Beach, we got St. Mary's covered. Right.
Yeah.
I think that's
You
I
got-
think that's it.
That's
right?
That's it.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Next one.
All right. Let's do this.
All right, we got one seed of Purdue going up against. Is it Grambling State or is
It's
it?
Grambling State, yeah.
Yeah. They had one of the playing games, right? That they won.
Yeah, they
last night.
won in overtime, I think.
Oh yeah. That's what it was. Is everyone going Purdue here? Are we thinking another
Yep.
upset?
Yeah,
Okay.
not
I
again.
feel like we're crazy.
Not again.
already.
Not again.
Okay. Next matchup, though, I think this is a good one. We got Utah State, 8 seed, going up against 9 seed at TCU. I'll start with this one. I haven't watched a lot of Utah State, to be honest. I've watched more of them. I think it was last year when they had Stephen Ashworth, right? And some other guys as well. I don't know how many of those guys are returning. I'm just a huge fan of Jameer Nelson Jr. I'm picking. For whatever reason, I've always picked TCU. Back when they had what was his name? Was it Mike Miles? Oh my
Got
God,
nothing
what was
here.
his name? The point guard that went to the NBA. I think it was Mike Miles or something. It was when Lampkin was on that team too. But I'm going with TCU here. I think it's gonna be a really close game though. But yeah, Brendo.
Yeah, I'm rolling TCU. They score more fast break points than anyone else in the field at over 18 per game. So just to get some easy buckets here in March is massive when all these possessions really matter. They're also the third oldest team in the nation with they have collectively as a unit 3.39 years of experience in Division One. Whether it be transfer guys or guys that have been at TCU. So I think experience combined with their ability to really get out on the open floor and get something easy, I think TCU is going to take this one.
Vish.
Yeah, I went back and forth on it. It's an 8-9 game, so everyone's going to go back and forth on it. But I went Utah State. I went the other way. I did actually, for whatever reason, see. I think they kept playing before our game tipped. So I saw quite a bit of TCU for some reason. I wasn't as impressed with them. And then when I started digging into this, the numbers backed up that Utah State might be the better team. So I went that way.
Yeah. All right, Tom's. What did Vegas say?
Yeah, this one was tough. I mean, I have 8-9, like you said, coin flip. But rolling with Vegas. Vegas never loses. 4.5 to TCU favorites.
Oh wow, they're getting. I would
was
actually
shocked
put money
it was
on Utah
4.5.
State for that.
That's the biggest margin in an 8-9 matchup. So if
Wow.
you were to bet, Utah's covering that.
If you're a betting man,
If you're a betting man, bet that TCU would win by 4.
there you go. All right, next one. We got the Zags, 5-seeded Gonzaga, going up. What is McNeese? Look at the
It's supposed
McNeese?
to be Midi State, but I've never seen it.
McNeese, 12-seeded McNeese. So this is a very popular 12-5 upset. I've watched a few games of Gonzaga, and to be honest, I haven't really been super impressed. I don't think, they're nearly as talented. I think in any other year of the tournament, this team would have been a much lower seed. I'm rolling with McNeese, man. Shahada Wells is balling out. They shoot 39.4% from three. They do give up some offensive rebounds. That's one of the negatives of the team. But, man, I think they're going to shoot the lights out. I think it's going to dispel any offensive rebounding margins. I'm going with McNeese State, man. The Cowboys.
There you
Vish?
go.
Yeah, I do agree. This is a popular 12-5 upset. I think Gonzaga's not as good as we've been accustomed to them being. They're still really good. I think they're a quality basketball team. They're just not, Final Four threat, which they've been for like the last 5 years. We expect them to, be there in the Sweet 16, Elite 8, but I still think they're better than McNeese, and I think there's a little bit too much momentum behind McNeese at this point. I think Gonzaga handles them.
Okay. Brendo?
Yeah, I like the Zags finally in a role where they don't have the expectation of winning the whole thing. I think Nimhard is a solid guard for them that'll kind of lead the way. But also, is it Ike or is it Ike, Toms?
I think it's Ike.
Ike?
It is Ike? Oh, maybe it is.
Yeah,
I don't know.
he's like,
I mean, he's
outside of
the
that,
last one to ask about names, though, Brendo. Come on.
he hears it.
Oh,
all the
him.
But
That dude's
yeah,
a
no, I
beast.
think he's playing maybe
Destroyed us.
outside of that last game against St. Mary's where they lost. He's been playing as well as any other big in the country. And I think Gonzaga is going to go on a little run here.
Okay. There you go. Toms?
Yeah, I have Gonzaga going to the Sweet 16, actually. I know this is the year that they didn't win the WCC. They aren't
And who did? Who won?
favorites to win it all.
Yeah, I forgot
Who
who
won?
won. Who won?
Yeah, I don't
Who
know.
won it?
St. Mary's.
You should be bragging about
First
it.
time since 2012.
There you go.
12 years. But no, it was a crazy conference. And I do think Gonzaga's going to take this, even though they aren't the Gonzaga that we know and love.
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 I don't
Yikes.
fucking love
Love
Gonzaga. All right. So next one we got here, Kansas going up against Samford, 4-seeded Kansas, 13-seeded Samford. Kevin McCullough is out for, I think, the entire tournament, right?
Yeah, Bill Self announced it.
Yeah. So I'll be honest, this is one that I would maybe pick the upset. I just don't know that much about Samford. I'm going to hand it off to, I've been going to Brendan a lot first, but I'm going to go to Brendan again first on this one.
I got something to say about Samford.
Yeah, I know you do.
I mean, I think Samford, well-balanced team. They have a unique kind of style of offense, but they got 5 guys that score over 9.5 a game. So very balanced. I mean, I think if this is a Kansas team that can be upset, this is the time to do it, where they're kind of down. But I think for that reason, for whatever reason, Kansas is just going to be able to pull through. I don't think they're going to go very far, but I think they might take this. Although Samford does have one of the greatest names in the tournament. The dude's name is Achor or Akor or something. It's the same first and last name, and dude's one of their guys that plays. So it'll be a fun little
like
thing.
Ali Ali.
Yes, I think Kansas is good for it though.
Okay. Tommy?
Yeah, I'm going Kansas in this one. I think they barely sneak by, but I think that's where it ends.
Yeah. All right. Vish?
Yeah, I'm going Kansas as well. I do think that injuries hurt. Your guy is healthy though, Dickinson. So I think he'll make the difference in this game and carry them at least to one win. Also, Samford is where Samford is where Bobby Bowden started his coaching career. So screw that school. Hate runs deep. It runs deep.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm going with Kansas in this one as much as I hate Hunter Dickinson. I just think they're going to be too much. But I do have them losing in the next round to McNeese.
There you go.
Randy is not a fan of the double name here.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's
All right.
unique.
Yeah. Who we got next?
Oh, this is a good
All
one.
right.
This is gonna be good.
Yeah.
Okay. We got 6-seeded South Carolina going up against 11-seeded Oregon. Tommy, you want to start this one out?
Yeah, so I was going back and forth in this one. I always liked Oregon. I mean, growing up in SoCal, watching UCLA, USC, Pac-12, got to see a lot of Oregon growing up. And so you know where I had to go. We went to the books of Vegas. We had to dig deep for this one because I was curious. And the favorites by 1.5 is Oregon. So you
Yo.
know,
Okay. Brendo?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm rolling with Oregon in this one. Winning the Pac-12 tourney, they're feeling themselves right now. They beat Arizona to get there en route. Cusinard is fifth-year senior, guy that I think is going to kind of lead the way in terms of experience here. But Jackson Shelstead is a beast. He's their freshman point guard. I think he might have a little Johnny Juzang moment and kind of go on a little run here. He's a guy that can really go get a bucket when they need one. I think Oregon make a little run.
Yeah. I'm going with Oregon as well. Like everyone said, they're hot right now. They got a big guy too that's a beast. I know I think he was out a few games during the season. But yeah, I like Oregon right now. I just think that, they're hot. So I'm going with them. Vish.
Yeah, I have Oregon as well. I also think what happened?
Oh no, I was just saying, like, because
Okay,
everyone
I
had
was like, what
Oregon.
did I do?
No, you're good.
I actually think, South Carolina, I feel overachieved their talent this year. They had a really good year, picked up some good wins. I think Oregon's probably like the more talented team coming into this game, despite the seed disparity. And so I like them to win that. Did we lose Brendo?
maybe.
Well, we have a moment since Melissa's harassing me on this. You don't know what goes on behind the scenes here. She's insisting I show the hoodie. There it is.
There we go.
Oh, nice.
Beach. I like how it has the pyramid on it too.
That is the pyramid.
There we go. Beach basketball. I love it.
All right, there. And also, I don't know if you that back in the basement. And also, I don't know if you want to say a few words about Mikal Brown-Jones when we bring up the next game.
Do you want to talk about it at the end? We can talk a little Miami stuff maybe.
Sure. Let's keep rolling.
Okay, we can do that. All right.
The next one's Creighton. I'm pulling it up right now.
3-seed Creighton, right?
Creighton, Akron. Yep.
14-seeded Akron. Honestly, so I took Creighton in this one. I think Creighton's going to go far. I think that I just really like their offense. I just like them as a team as well. Kalkbrenner's really skilled, big. They have Ashworth, and then Baylor. They still have Baylor Shireman too, right?
Yep.
Really good scorer. Transfer from when did he transfer? South Dakota, right? South Dakota State. Really great scorer. I like the team. I have them winning this game. We watched. I can't remember if I watched Akron with Vish or if when I watched them play. I can't remember. Looks solid. I just think it's going to be too much for them. So I'm taking Creighton in this one. Oh, sorry, Brendan.
Yeah, I think I'm going to roll with Creighton too. I agree. I think they're going to make a little bit of a run. Trey Alexander also is a beast. They're one of the top teams in the nation of scoring percentage shooting twos, even though they shoot about 40% of their shots are threes. I just think that bodes well in the tournament when possessions are such a premium, especially in tight games. I think this one they're going to kind of run away with a little bit, but I think I like Creighton to make a little run.
Okay, there you go. Tommy?
Yeah, I think Creighton's too much for them, and they're gonna get this win easy.
The
Okay.
Zips.
Vish?
Yeah, no, I'm going with Creighton as well. I don't think it's going to be that close. I think Creighton's really good.
All right, let's go to the next one.
Getting down to the end.
I know. These are the last two of them. All right, we got 7-seeded Texas going up against 10-seeded Colorado State. Vish, you want to start this one off?
Yeah, I went with Colorado State in this one. Another little 10-7 upset there. It is a fairly even matchup. I thought Texas was better earlier in the year. They didn't play their best basketball down the stretch. Lost a lot of games, but they were against good opponents, so it's so hard to judge because you're picking up all these losses. But then, the quality of opponents really high. But I like I like the way Colorado State's been playing better lately, so I went with them. And this will be a really close game. And spoiler alert for the end of this bracket, but this is the game I'm most looking forward to. I'll just throw that out there right now. I think it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Texas, great offensive team. Colorado State, really good defensive team. Like Vish said, I think there's been times that Texas kind of tailed off a bit. I just think that, their personnel is not as good as last year. Marcus Carr was a really good player for him. Serge Jabari Rice, one of the best pump fakes in the game, man. I don't know if you guys remember that, but he was
Wasn't good enough, was he?
Wasn't good enough.
By the way,
no,
can you trust a team whose coach just attends the Final Four and sits in the crowd like a fan like that after losing the regional finals? It's the weirdest thing.
I literally took a piss next to him. Like in the corner of my eye, I saw him and I was like, wait. I was like, what the hell? And then I walked out and then I turned around and it was him. And I was like, what's up, coach? He's like, how are you doing? And I shook his hand and I was like, good job this year. Like, and then
you just sit out there in the crowd with the rest of us. Like, what is this guy doing?
I feel like he might have thought I was trolling him because it was
because
obviously
you're wearing Miami stuff too.
Yeah, but I was serious. I mean, he did a good job, stepping in after, after what happened.
Random though. Like he's just there attending like a fan. You blew a big lead in the regional finals and lost, and now I'm gonna go anyway. Screw this.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm taking Colorado State in this one. Also because Brock Cunningham is probably one of the most annoying players. He's one of those guys that you hate when he's not on your team. He's one of the most annoying players. He's the one, I don't know if you remember, Vish, he boxed out Norchad when Norchad was jumping up and he undercut him and, could have been a very
play that was clearly a foul on him.
Yeah, which could have been a very severe, injury. Yeah. So I'm going Colorado State here. But yeah, Brendo.
Yeah, man. God, I want to pick Texas. Max Abesmith, part of the Cinderella story of Oral Roberts a few years back. I think they were also part of that little stat that you were sharing of upsets and names that are unique.
Wow, that was a very different.
Oh yeah. There
we go.
That was good though.
But yeah, I picked Colorado State. I think the Mountain West, while getting 6 teams in, I believe for the first time, right? All those teams were, I think, underseeded. And so I think Colorado State is going to rise to the occasion here. And after getting a game under their belt, getting out there and making it happen.
There you go. Toms?
Man, this one was tough. I actually watched Colorado State when they played St. Mary's, and I was shocked. That was when St. Mary's went off the terrible season, and that was like the first big win on the road at Colorado State, which was nuts. But that was the only game I watched to them, and so I had to go to Vegas. And Vegas told me 2.5 to the Texas Longhorns. So we're going Texas.
You know what I have to say to that?
That's
Horns
way too
down.
similar to what people do to us, man. I don't know about that.
I don't know. Well, their coach he wouldn't have shook my hand if he knew I did that. All right. Well, Longwood isn't the only one that has an
Here we
opportunity
are.
here. The Peacocks could do it again. We got 2-seeded Tennessee going up against 15-seed St. Peter's Peacocks. Tommy, you feeling the
man.
Cocks or what?
Man, I wish. I would love an upset. That would be
Love
the
to feel the
coolest
Cox.
thing
All right,
ever.
then.
Hey,
But I think Tennessee just has too much willpower, and I just don't see it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Brendo?
yeah, man. I don't think I can roll with St. Peter's this time. But Dalton Connect for Tennessee is rather impressive. Might be one of the best players in the entire tournament. They're physical and they play defense. And I just think that when your team looking to upset, you don't really want to go against teams that are going to be teams that really focus on defense and being physical. So I think Tennessee is going to volunteer themselves away from being that upset special.
I see what you did there.
No, I'm going with Tennessee here too. I'm debating on how far I think Tennessee can make it. I do like a lot of the guys that they have on their team. I love Zakai Ziegler. He's a great story. I love Vescovy too. And Jermaine Mashak too. He actually went to high school, I think at oh my God, what is that high school on the way to Vegas that we always go by?
Barstow?
Huh?
Barstow?
No, it's oh my God, I'm not gonna be able to. I'll think of it later.
Like a big time California high school?
Like Etowanda. It's like right off the freeway when you Etowanda. I think he went to Etowanda.
Yeah, they were big time a little bit back
out there. Yeah. So but he's one of those solid, he plays defense, hustles, does all the small things that don't appear on the stat sheet. I like Tennessee in this one. I don't think we're gonna feel the Peacocks, unfortunately. But Vish.
Yeah, I got Tennessee, and I agree. I don't think it's gonna be competitive. They just score so easily that it's almost like they just completely have one of those games where nothing goes in. I don't see how St. Peter's keeps up. Also, shout out to Alex Schwartz, the AD for basketball Tennessee. He was the AD for basketball for Miami. We know him pretty well.
Great guy.
Good dude. So maybe he knew what was coming because he left this summer to go to Tennessee. So he saw the train go down the tracks and got the hell out of there. But shout out to him.
Wow. Shout out.
Wow,
to
we
him.
have done.
Look at us.
Okay, all of these games.
Do we need to go through our favorite games of this?
I already said mine, which was Texas, Colorado State. I don't know if someone have another one they want to talk about.
South Carolina, Oregon.
Yeah, that one.
Oregon.
I think that's I think Texas and Colorado State too.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah. So should we? Oh, I was gonna say we should do Final Four, but I just realized I only have 3 teams. I forgot who I didn't count.
It's all right. Just flow with it.
Apparently.
Let's do it.
All right, who wants to go first? Should we go Tommy and then move up?
Sure.
All right, go ahead, Toms.
Oh man, I actually just closed out, so I actually don't have it up anymore. But I will tell you, I'll just tell you my final prediction. I have Houston winning it all.
Hey.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Okay. All right, Brendo.
I'm going coming out of the East. We're going to be rolling with Iowa State.
Ooh.
Out of the West, I really wanted to send St. Mary's through all the way for my boy Tom's. Also, a little shout out Long Beach. They might win a game or two, but I do have North Carolina coming out of the West. Out of the Midwest, not very exciting, but I think Purdue is going to finally kind of make their little run here.
Purdue is due.
They're fine. Yeah. I mean, I think the thing with them is Zach Edey, I think with the experience now of how teams play him, especially in the tournament, I just think he didn't pass well out of double teams last year. And that's kind of what did them in. Because it's weird playing against guys that are so much smaller than what you're used to, you know? I think he's got that experience now. They got too many guys around him that are shooters and can get to the basket. So I'm rolling Purdue out of the Midwest and out of the South again. Not as exciting, but rolling with Houston. Man, I love watching them play.
Did you already say you're champion too?
Champion. I'm rolling Purdue this year. I think they're going to do it. I mean, they've choked so many times. I feel like it's going to be kind of like how
yeah, because I'm about to say it's just like Virginia. They kept choking,
you
and
know,
once they
like,
got it.
But I just think that Edey's going to be an issue, and I think those other guys are going to step up, and I think this will be the year that they do it.
Yeah, definitely guards have improved too. Braden Smith and Foster. What is his last name?
Lawyer.
Foster Lawyer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been playing together for a couple years now too.
Yeah.
So
I think this is the time.
Yeah, I am going with Illinois.
Oh,
out of the first region. Like I said, really like Illinois. I think they're a balanced team. And then I have Houston. Like I said, I just think Houston is one of the most dominating teams.
Yep.
Kind of similar to Purdue. I feel like, they've, been so close. And I think they're going to make the Final Four. And I'll get into the rest of my Final Four first, but I have Creighton.
There you go.
Then my last team, I have Tommy's St. Mary's Gales going to the Final Four.
No way. Don't play with me.
Got St. Mary's going through. I wanted, somewhat of a lower seed. I like St. Mary's. Put them through.
Wow.
I got Houston winning it all, though. Sorry, Toms.
That's fine. Hey, just for the record, if they do go to the Sweet 16, they're playing at Staples, and we're all going to that game.
There we go.
Hey,
They gotta win 2 games to make it to Staples.
Well, Vish.
Yeah. So for me, in the East, I had UConn. I'm surprised I'm the only one that did. If I recall it correct. Oh, you did. Okay, yeah, you didn't have your Final Four laid out. Yeah, there we go. Sorry, the West. I didn't have Beach or St. Mary's. I did have St. Mary's making a run, but not all the way to the Final Four. I had Carolina there, and then I had Purdue coming out of the Midwest, and I went Kentucky out of the.
Okay.
That's how. Well, what I realized is I picked 3 ones, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
So I was like, where can I will say, to me, the Midwest is the one I have no feel for. Kansas is injured.
Yeah.
I don't know if I trust Rick Barnes. Purdue always, if I don't trust Rick Barnes, think about Matt Payne. And I'm just like, who is coming out of here? So that one's the one I could see totally blowing up. But so I think Purdue's the best team. They should not blow it like they have been. So I went with them. But that one I could see like completely. After like the first day, you're like, oh my God, this is all ruined.
Matt, you got an epic Long Beach State St. Mary's Elite 8 or what?
No.
How far did you take Beach?
I have them losing the next game. Yeah.
So wait, you have them beating Arizona. So you have Nevada then.
Yeah, because I think I had Nevada winning.
If they take down Arizona, they gotta take down Nevada.
Listen, man, I'm all in for that first game. That's what it is.
Munson, baby.
Yeah, gotta do it for Munson.
Oh, by the way, did you see his interview on Levitard's show? They had him on for a whole segment. He 100% got fired. So apparently, he talked to, and this is it's on YouTube and stuff, but he talked to the administration. He's like, yeah, I did kind of agree, maybe it's time for them to look, get a new voice in the room and all this stuff. But then he said, I told them, let's wait till the tournament's over and see how we do. And then they just released the statement. And so he did get, and they actually asked him, like, would you obviously like the way things are going now, they might want you back after all this. Would you take it back? He was like, would you go back to the girl that dumped you or something like that? So it's like, I don't know how you guys define mutual, but that was not a mutual based on the way he's telling it.
You have to understand too, like with these smaller schools, like there's not much that comes out right until you make it to the tournament. The first things I saw that like of the accounts I follow for like Long Beach or whatnot, or people that would tweet about it, it said mutual. And I mean, nothing was really said about it until he did these interviews and whatnot.
Yeah, it was most definitely not mutual.
I mean, to be fair, how they handled it, it's really shitty. But also, like, I mean, he's had a lot of talented teams that have not done well. He's underperformed for a long part of his tenure.
I mean, it's been over 10 years since they made the tournament.
Yeah, and people are like, oh, it's Long Beach State or whatever, But, like, when you look at the talent that's kind of been through
Even
and
just in
whatnot.
Long Beach, too.
Even just in this area, I mean, it just, wasn't a good look. And they could have handled it better, though, for sure.
Well, and that's what I saw that when he asked, can I just take this Big West tournament run? They told him no. And so he was like, well, he like wasn't going to take that for an answer. So that's why he did it for free. Like he's fired. But he's volunteer coaching throughout this whole thing. It's unreal.
Oh my God.
Go Beach, baby.
Man, if they beat Zona, that'll like ice the cake there.
He'll get a sick job somewhere.
There you go. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on, Tommy and Brendan.
Do you want to stick and do a little bit Miami chat? You haven't talked about half our team in the portal because you weren't on yesterday's show.
Yeah, so we can
let these guys go. Yeah,
we're gonna
talk about third string shooting guard that are in the portal today. Big important stuff.
Trust me, you don't want to be here for this. This is gonna be our cry session of, are we even gonna have a team next year because of everyone entering the portal?
Oh my!
We got a good recruiting class. So.
Yeah, no, we do. In all seriousness. So, but I appreciate you guys coming on.
Awesome.
Glad you guys could meet both Melissa and Vish. I know Melissa was, a little bit more brief, but we gotta do this again sometime. It was
Absolutely.
awesome.
Thank you guys so much for having us.
Yeah, no, awesome.
I appreciate it. See you guys.
Fun.
See you guys.
All right. Well, I guess let's start with. So yesterday we talked through
a little backstory. Vish, I'm literally taking off my boot right now.
I can hear it. As can everyone. As can the 83 people are actually apparently live viewing this.
No way.
5 off the YouTube channel, 36 off my Twitter, 42 off the Buckets Twitter.
Oh wow!
I just realized you can hover and get a breakdown of who's watching it from where. So yes, they're hearing you take your leg.
Yeah, sorry guys, gotta do it if we're gonna get into this. So
yeah, so I guess since Melissa and I talked about everyone other than Jakai yesterday, so why don't we start there, get your take on so I guess we'll start with the dynamic duo of Casey and Watson, which I think we knew were gonna go in.
I think there's guys that I mean Casey, Watson, we knew we're gonna hit the portal, right? I think we were basically close to 100% or as close to 100% as you can get in terms of sure that they were leaving. Jakai was the one that we were kind of unsure just because, is he okay with not really getting a lot of playing time playing here? But I mean, I don't think it's surprising. He obviously wants an expanded role somewhere else. But I think the one that was more surprising was actually Mike Nwoko, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. So the other ones we haven't mentioned are Bensley
and Mike
Nwoko. Yeah,
Bensley
and Nwoko. Yeah.
I like Bensley. We kind of had talked about like, well, if he wants to, start somewhere, we're not really sure if this is the place because I mean we have Jaleel Bethea who's coming in.
There was no way he's starting
day one.
And I think all indications out of all of the players that are still on the team, which isn't that many to be honest. Nigel's probably Nigel is probably the most solid looking like he'll be here. And so then and obviously Jaleel's going to start there. It wasn't really a starting role. The other thing with Bensley, he is from the Northeast. There's a lot of basketball schools up there, so he can kind of go to that area. And
Yeah, no, and we talked about it in the chat too. Like St. John's was the team that had kind of reached out to him, and I mean that makes perfect sense. I think that he's someone that can start at a school like St. John's. It's great opportunity for him. But I mean, going back to Nwoko, I was surprised by that. I think I don't want to speak to what went into his decision. I can only speculate, and I think he probably felt like he could be playing more. Definitely think he could be playing more at a smaller mid-major to what were you going to say?
Well, I would say in his defense, he's unable to watch himself play, so he might come to that conclusion. But anyone that watched him play probably should be playing less.
Yeah,
to be honest, he was not good.
He played out of necessity, right? Like,
right.
I mean, AJ Casey, it wasn't working with him at the 5, so we had to try Nwoko. I mean, we've talked about it several times. Coach L had to work with him to show him where to be on the floor. Very raw. I saw him as a guy that maybe got a few minutes in games this year due to like injuries or foul trouble. I didn't see him as the backup big coming off the bench, as like the 7th guy or in the rotation. Definitely thought he was someone that like had a chance to start maybe in his 3rd year or so.
And that's even a question mark. I mean, he was a long way away.
Yeah, he's very raw, but I think he has the body type, the athleticism. It's just, he has to develop in some areas.
Right.
There's some guys that are like that. And I think, just like I think he's a better player than Favorite Air for sure. But I mean, you look at someone like that who transferred to Penn State, was transferring again because he didn't really get a chance to play. If depending on where he goes, we're going to kind of get a vibe of what he was looking for is kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be, surprised if he has a similar path because he is very raw. Like you said, I think he's a little bit better than Favorite Air, but not that much. I mean, his skill was the same, which is he's tall. Like he's lost on the court a lot.
He's more mobile. He was more mobile, and I think he was a little bit better of a finisher. Like he had more of a soft finish, and Favorite Air could not.
Yeah, that's a fair statement, but I mean, they're basically the only reason either of them ever got any minutes here is because they're tall.
Yeah,
and so, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see where he lands. Like you said, what was he looking for?
Yeah, and that's what we'll.
But I guess on the flip side of that, right? Like if Norchad's actually, we obviously don't know about Nigel, Norchad, Wooga, Keyshawn, and Cleveland. I'm assuming Joe Bay. Yeah, Cleveland, and I'm assuming Joe Bay is coming back. But those are the 6 guys that are currently on the team. Hard to say. If you got some kind of indication that Norchad's coming back, then there's really not a lot of minutes for him. Not just as the backup, but he's also, limited minutes. Especially if we get a quality 4, because we didn't really have one. So we got some minutes next to Norchad. Like if you actually have a good, there's a reason that AJ Casey didn't play last year at all, basically, unless someone got foul trouble. It's because Jordan Miller could play the 5, and so there's like an Anthony Walker could a little bit, or he would be the big on the court sometimes. So you really didn't have to go to those guys. We didn't have those options this year, so Nwoko got more minutes than he should have. But I mean, you're looking at the guys that dropped off. Like you mentioned, Favorite Arrows in the portal again. So is Jovanovic.
And Osterbrook, if you want to count him. But
I mean, he wasn't even on scholarship at Miami, was he?
No.
Yeah, I mean that's a different situation. But yeah, Jovanovic and Favorite Air, like we don't know what their long-term future is, but I think a lot of these kids underestimate the necessity of stability to develop. If you're not at that top level, which none of these guys are, you're gonna need consistent coaching to actually get better. And if you're just jumping school to school, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, well, you're adjusting to systems, you're adjusting to new culture, you're adjusting. I mean, just from a basketball standpoint, then you're adjusting to new life in a different place. Like it's a lot to take on, and it's hard to improve.
And also, a lot of these guys, again, they're marginal E5 talents. They're not like slam dunk. This guy should be at, an ACC school, and then Jovanovic went to another ACC school. Faber went to a Big Ten school. They're not necessarily even really good enough to play on. They're kind of borderline, and so it's like you're gonna do that and then transfer.
Well, the other thing too that I think is so like strange to me is like people are quick to I get losing Nwoko, like it sucks to lose guys, right? But there's people are so quick to reference like, oh, he was a 4-star top 15 center, and it's like, well, I mean, not to shit on any individual player, but I mean, Jakai was like the highest rated recruit out of his class that we recruited. He was like I think he was like top 50. And I mean,
yeah, I think one of the things
you just don't know how these guys are going to develop. Like,
yeah, that's definitely the case. I also think, we still, as a fan base, we are a football school. We have a football mindset.
mm-hmm.
Top 15 center is not that great.
Yeah.
They're like, there is a vast difference. If you're a top spot, like someone like Jaleel, that is program changing, game changing talent. Dropping down even a little bit from there, you drops off a cliff.
Yeah.
And I don't think people realize that
20 recruits are like, depending on the year, obviously.
Like in football, if you get like a top 20 player at his position, that's a 3-year starter, you're sure. Basketball, that guy might be the worst player on your team.
Mm-hmm.
So I think people don't. Again, we have so many football fans that it's good they're coming over to basketball now. The fan base is growing, but it's a totally different. You need to be hitting like the best player at his position, the second best player of his position. Otherwise, it's much more of a crapshoot. Obviously, evaluations aren't perfect to begin with, but there are certain talents like Jaleel, like Lonnie Walker, you know that guy's the guy. He's one and done, and he's like that elite level of talent. And then once you drop out of that, it's a much more of a crapshoot. When you start getting into that's a top 50 recruit, that's not anything guaranteed. Anything guaranteed in terms of talent. So yeah, a lot of them don't work out, especially if it's not a good fit for them. Those ones need to be in the right situation to succeed, and I think people need to understand that getting a top 5 recruit versus a top 20 recruit is a huge difference in basketball.
Yeah, no, it's true. Very much true. And I mean, we very well could see, maybe I'm trying to think of how many guys would be on roster. We could see like a mass exodus of guys leaving. And I think people should be prepared for that. We could have, because right now we have 5 guys in the portal. We very well could have.
Well, I mean, let's talk about it. Other than I feel good about Nigel staying.
I think,
and I feel good. I feel good about Joe Bay staying. Everyone else might be gone. Just be like when you say be prepared,
no, that's what I'm saying.
There could be 2 guys on the team in like a month. Mm-hmm. Then we're going to obviously have incoming portal players as well. We have 3 recruits that are signed. They're not going anywhere. They're coming.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 5 players. So yeah, so then you go to the portal, get basically replace what you lost. Keeping in mind, we have 3 really good freshmen coming in, and one of them is elite, and then 2 other really good guys we're hoping will be in the rotation. So, we were light on players this year. So you don't necessarily need to 1-to-1 if we lose 8 guys to either the portal or the NBA. You don't necessarily need to turn around and get 8 in because we have 3 signed and locked in already.
Yeah.
And so it's really
you have to replace the guys that were major contributors, right? That's what.
Right. And I do think we'll see a little bit of a shift in approach this year from how we attack the portal. Depends on who's here still. But I think listening to Coach Hell's press conference, we went after a lot of kind of star players. And I think we might see us attacking more role players, more depth, more team players to supplement hopefully Nigel, Julia, and hopefully Norchad as well. If you have those 3, you don't need another another guy that's good with the ball. You need role players that have 3 and D and do that kind of stuff.
I think too, like I think that we're a lot more active than we were. Obviously, well, I mean, we're still playing games and stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, but I mean, there's 4 or 5 guys that we've already been in contact with, who I can start breaking them down if you would like.
Well, I think there's one Melissa wanted to discuss. We'll probably do another show where we go into more depth. But if you want to,
I mean, I
talk
have
about your
3 of
guy.
them that I wrote down
All
about.
right, if you want to go for all 3 of them, we'll start with is it Michael or Mikkel?
I think it's Michael, but I'm going to go with him last.
Okay, all right. Where's your
So,
order?
One of them is Trey Dinkins. He's a transfer from Canisius. Canisius, is that how you say it?
Canisius.
Canisius. That's how you say it. Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah, we played them in baseball in the
Baseball.
NCAA tournament a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
We-
So he has
when we
1 year
hosted.
of eligibility. He was 3rd team All MAC. He's like a 6'2", more of a point guard. But he's definitely a guy that looks to create for himself. Initially 41% field goal percentage, 35 from 3. He was he was on a really bad team, so he was kind of looked at to kind of produce more offense. Kind of like, remember L. Ellis for Louisville?
Yeah.
Like, how his numbers, they didn't look super efficient. I think that his numbers could improve, like on a better team, but he's definitely a guy that can create space for himself and whatnot. I don't know if it's necessarily a Nigel replacement, just based on the other schools interested. I could see him being, a guard kind of coming off the bench, but playing like, a significant, amount of minutes, kind of like what Bensley did and whatnot. But he's really good in ball screen action. If, Norchad is still here, I think he could play really well next to him. But he's also a really, really good shooter off the catch. But yeah, and he has a really good finishing too at the rim for his size. So I think he's a good player. I don't know if I would want him to be our point guard. Nigel leaves, that's our point guard. I don't know.
Well, what if he doesn't? Where does he fit then? Because is he just not?
I think of him as like first guy off the bench.
You think that's that's what I was thinking as you're describing him.
Yeah.
Role acceptance might be an issue.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to look at the teams. Like, I don't know how many opportunities he has at other major programs.
Right.
I saw a list of the other of the other programs, but I can't remember them off the top of my head. I mean, you have to look at, the conference he plays in and whatnot. It's not the most competitive and whatnot. So I think it's possible if you sell him on, hey, you're going to be playing this many minutes and you might have opportunities to start because of, you never know with injuries or whatnot, But yeah. Other one is big man from Drexel, Amari Williams, 6'10". Yeah, sell him on the Benz roll. There you go. He announced for the draft and he entered the portal. Miami reached out to him. He's won the conference defensive player of the year 3 years in a row. He's more of like a traditional back to the basket big. He's got some soft touch. He's pretty mobile for his size and whatnot. But I mean, just for him, it's like he announced for the draft, so you kind of got to see what's going to happen with that. He's in the portal. He's going to have other schools reaching out to him. He's one of the, highest regarded transfers in the portal right now. And to be honest, I don't know how I'd like if Norchad is still here. I don't know how I like the fit. It could be more of a Norchad replacement. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I like him playing next to Norchad though.
He's actually probably only gettable if Norchad is gone, in my opinion.
Yeah. That's what I think. I see him more as like a Norchad replacement.
Which is also, why it makes sense to make contact now. You can kind of wait out the draft process there because we might be waiting out Norchad as well.
Yeah, it makes sense. But let's get into why everyone came here.
I mean, yeah, you sat through 2 hours of show to get to
Mikel Brown
Jones. Brown, no relation to Melissa, in case anyone's wondering.
6'8" power forward from UNCG. Played in the Southern Conference, solid mid-major league. They beat Arkansas in non-conference. He had 17 that game. 19 points per game, 8 rebounds, 54% field goal percentage, and 43% from three. I really like his offensive game. Super balanced. Yes, he can shoot the three, but I think too he reminds me of like Jordan Miller, especially in that first year, like in terms of like he knows how to position himself, not in terms of like posting up, but like sealing defenders, to get easy looks inside. He knows when to cut. He's really good on pick and pop situations, and just pick and roll situations in general. He can put the ball on the floor. Super efficient offensive player. So in the conference he plays in, he's top 10 in offensive rating, effective field goal percentage, true shooting percentage, offensive rebounding percentage, defensive rebounding possession, 3-point percentage, and free throw percentage. He does play defense too. Pretty solid defender. Kind of reminds me of Jordan, of the like he knows where to be on the floor and whatnot. He's, there's not going to be any lack of engagement issues, at least from what I saw. Top 20 in conference in steal percentage, block percentage, and turnover percentage. So, he can make smart decisions. I think that he's probably the best fit next to Norchad, but I also think he's like a must get too, even if we don't get Norchad. I think that he's a guy that you go out and get no matter what, because we don't really have, someone that can play that position right now on our team. And I think no matter what, we think Nigel's most likely coming back. We know Jaleel's going to be here. I think he's a guy that can really excel playing next to those guys.
So do you see
does
him
all the
as,
little things
as more as a stretch 4, or as like more of a 3?
No, I think he's a 4 just because of his rebounding ability, the physicality that he plays with. I mean, he's 6'8", but he's not scrawny. He's like, I'm going to look up his weight now. That's the only thing I didn't have. I have his social security number. I have his 6'8", 220.
Yeah, no, and I would say the in order of likeliest to leave at this point, it would be, we do have wings, but Keyshawn, Wugga, and Matthews' futures are very much in doubt. So, like you said, the chances of all of them coming back is basically 0. So we're gonna need
and I think all it takes is one of them not coming back, and he would.
Right.
I think he would still start.
Yeah,
I think he would start no matter what. But I think he would be a great player for us. But I think too, he was the best player on his team, but he did all the little things. You see him fighting for offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, rotating on defense. I really like him as a player. I think he would fit well for us.
Yeah, and I think that's what we were talking about as we entered this segment, right? Looking less at guys that are superstars and more at guys that I can plug this guy and they can do a role. They'll high IQ, help the team win. I mean, and he might be back still, but for all of Matthew Cleveland's super talented, he needs the ball, and you need to run offense through him for him to use his talent. And that means you're not running it through Nigel. You're not running it through Norchad. That's not necessarily a good thing for us. And he tried to play the role player role. Remember, we were spending a lot of the year like, why isn't he being more aggressive? Why isn't he tried to be the role player that the team needed him to be? It's just not a good fit for him. And also playing out of position. There's a lot of stuff going on there, but I do think, based on some of what Coach Ellis said, his press conference, I do think we are targeting more. All right, how's this guy fit? What role do we have defined for them? Because I don't know that we necessarily. We went after a lot of big fish. We landed one in the portal last year, but it was a lot of who's the most talented guy versus who's the right fit on this team. And I think you saw. I think we suffered from that. So we'll see what happens
Yeah, we also reached out to another guy by the name of Brandon Johnson. He's like a stretch four. I haven't really watched any film on him yet. And I mean, there's a lot of guys in the portal now. There's a lot of big men.
Yeah, I
But-
just wonder. So, I mean, I guess my
until we know what happens with Norchad, I feel like we're not
right,
gonna
and that was
really-
my thinking. Like, what are we gonna? So it's such a difficult position. I mean, and his decision might be drawn out quite a bit because he's basically got the three options. I can come back, he can enter the draft, and actually, I guess there's four options. He can enter the draft and stay in the draft. He can enter the draft and come back, or he could transfer. Go to the portal. But for him, one of the factors, like the high end, if you're on a big program, putting up double doubles in the ACC, it becomes a money chase, and so that makes it complicated. So it's not just a matter of right fit; it'll also be where got to talk to his agent, got to get the financials squared away. Like there's a lot of complexity with all of those options. Whereas guys like Jakai are just if they want to leave, they'll just go in the portal. They don't really. And so that decision, I would be surprised if it doesn't drag a bit, unless he just says I'm coming back. That's the only thing that would be quick. If it's 100% sure, it doesn't mean he's not coming back. If it drags, it's just that it's almost necessarily going. He'd be stupid not to explore his options.
Yeah. The other thing too is that I wanted to mention is there's a 2024 recruit, Connie Ruths, who he decommitted from Michigan after Michigan fired Chris Juwan Howard.
I did see that.
I almost said Chris Webber, but Juwan Howard.
Getting your Fab Fives mixed up.
From IMG Academy. He was someone. Oh, look who's here.
Sort of.
Oh, do I need to put a light on?
Man, we
Is
got
that
the
better?
lighting
There you
king
go.
queen here.
I was just about to talk about Connie Roos,
Who?
the recruit.
Michigan commit that decommitted after Juwan Howard got fired.
Yeah, he was supposed to visit Miami
Oh, that's right.
back in the past, but it kind of fell through. I think it was because we ended up signing Isaiah Johnson or something. We signed someone, and so I think we just didn't really have the spot, so it just didn't work out. But I think that's someone they could look at too. I mean, when
Matt,
you lose...
I wanted to ask you about the Rutgers center. Did you guys mention him?
No, there's a lot of rumblings that he already has like a destination he's going to. It's like one of those back channel like NIL things of
which is, by the way, how Norchad, if you were to leave, that would happen. They'd arrange all the financials and then he would go in the portal and
no, but there's like that Stanford center was someone that I think actually Jackson sent. The Stanford center that entered the portal, and then was it Josh Cohen that we talked about in the chat? Was that his name? Yeah. I like him too. But I think those are both guys I feel like you have to look at if Norchad's gone. I think Cohen has like a really diverse skill set. Actually, so does the Stanford center. I cannot remember his name, but he kind of can shoot the three as well, but it's not like the main part of his game. So, but yeah.
That's right. Maxime Reno.
Yeah.
Okay.
Has anyone ever streamed and drove at the same time?
Jazz has streamed going through a Taco Bell drive-through.
Driving through Miami in the middle of the night.
I can actually know because you drive. I can see landmarks in the background. I know exactly where you are. So.
There's like this truck that's like sweeping the curbs or something.
Yeah, that's how they clean the streets.
I've never seen that before.
Street sweeping.
I didn't realize they did that in Miami.
Yeah, otherwise there'd be crap all over the ground. Like it gets dirty.
Also, you know where I am because you know where I live, and I like work.
No, but I can see landmarks behind. That's why I was like in the background.
Yeah.
I guess. Anyway.
I love how I checked into the show like right as you guys were starting to talk about Long Beach, so I was like, oh, let me get on there real quick.
I should have wore a Long Beach shirt. I just realized that. Like, I so poorly planned this. I
Your,
was
your
gonna wear
boy
my
was.
jersey.
Your boy was too. I mean,
Oh man, I need to find my
Wait,
jersey.
were both of your friends Long Beach grads or?
No, one went to St. Mary's and one went. Well, so one of them, he played college basketball and he went to 2 different schools, Vanguard and Concordia.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but the other one went to St. Mary's. So yeah.
oh, you missed the Max moment there.
What happened?
Oh, I forgot to ask them about the chicken sandwich. I genuinely don't know.
Oh
what they would have
shit!
picked.
Yeah, we forgot to ask, but also we can't do that without. They wouldn't count.
I think it needs
No,
to be asked though when I'm on. I don't know
that's
that.
what I said. I was
Well,
not.
no,
I
but
was.
like just to ask, like not.
It
like,
wasn't going to
we're
go
not
on the
gonna
board
count it
anyway.
for
No,
Well,
they
ask
don't
them.
count.
Just ask them outside of this or whatever, and we can discuss it on the next show.
No, only like the OG pod. Those ones are not going on the board. It needs to be like our actual guests, like basketball guests, like Kane's guests.
Yeah, like when we have the OGs on, Are we doing that? I'm not.
We can
putting them on the
add.
board.
They're not. It doesn't go on the board, and this one
Yeah.
wouldn't have either.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
No, it's got to be like our actual.
I got to get a new board though, because my board is outgrowing the list.
Oh,
Unless
Matt.
I don't do quotes anymore.
Matt.
Yeah.
The Tim James cards are right there.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Vish showed me those. Those are so sick. Are we still live?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we are.
Oh.
It's in my own little world.
We get into these conversations at the end of the night, and I forget if we're like still on or not.
No, we're still live. We're wrapping up with
Okay,
some
I
Kane's
have
coverage. Go for
I
it.
have a live answer. Tommy said Popeyes. I am shocked that he said. I thought he was going to say Chick-fil-A. Okay, Brendan said Chick-fil-A.
Oh, so 1 and 1.
So, but Brendan is very analytical with his answer. He said Chick-fil-A only because they're more consistent and theirs being good. Popeyes has the higher ceiling, though.
That's exactly what I said, actually. Popeyes, you have no idea what's going on. Chick-fil-A, you know exactly what you're getting. Popeyes, you have no idea.
Didn't Nate say that too? In the chat once?
He might have. That was my analysis, actually, but on average, Popeyes will come out way ahead. You just occasionally will get something like, what the F is this? Anyway. We got anything else?
I think that's it. We talked about that.
I just pulled into my parking garage. You guys kept me company on my 3-minute drive home.
There we go.
Well, now you get to do the.
I told Vish not to end the stream. I was texting him that I was leaving. I'm like, wait, don't end the stream so I can end it. I tried to end it. I don't know if you saw the end of the show last night where we had like 20 endings because I was finishing a statement and then I said cue the Sox outro, but I guess I didn't plan it out enough. Well, Vish didn't think wasn't prepared.
Okay, so Matt can now see behind the scenes all the crap I'm doing during the show. Like I have to click to another menu to get the outro. She's mid-sentence.
And Vish's defense, he tried. He tried to do it fast, and then he was like, "No, it's not gonna work."
Yeah, I was just like, I mean, it's there's like a list of like there's literally 10 videos of intros and outros in my thing here, and I had to like get to the menu, find the right one, and she just did it mid-sentence too. It was like out of nowhere. It's like we're queuing the Sox outro. When did that happen? It was so there was a false start there.
Oof.
Yeah. Are we ready?
We're ready this time.
Wait, I don't know if I can do. Where can I put my phone? Will it stay so I can?
That's why you get a folding phone. You can flex it and it'll stand. I mean, you can just say it. You can just say it. You don't have to do the fingers. It's
cue the Sox outro.
Don't cry. Keep it chill. Wear good socks.